507 Service masts. Where service drop conductor clearances as specified in Article 502 and 503 and shown in Figure 501 cannot be obtained by standard anchorage, then a service mast must be used. This type of installation consists of extending the service raceway, through the eaves if necessary, and anchoring the service drop conductors on the service mast, refer to Figure 503. 507 1 Adequate strength. The service mast must withstand the strain imposed on it by the service drop conductors. Conduit used for service masts shall be 2 inches, minimum, and shall be rigid metal conduit, RMC, or intermediate metal conduit, IMC, with no coupling between the roofline and service head. The service mast, or any other service raceway, shall not be used to support other equipment. 507 To rise above roof. Where a service mast rises above a roof or roof parapet, it shall extend beyond that point a minimum of 36 inches and maximum of 60 inches measured to the top of the conduit. The service mast must be designed to withstand 750 pounds of load tension induced from the service drop conductors. 507 3 Roof penetrations. The point where a service mast emerges through a roof shall be weatherproof and utilize approved flashing plates and associated hardware including sealing materials. Roof flashing plate shall be installed in accordance with manufacturer's instructions and as shown in Figure 503-507 for support of service mast. Where service raceways are used for the support of service drop conductors, they shall be supported in accordance with the respective figure indicated below. 1. Service mast for overhead residential single-phase services shall be supported in accordance with Figure 503. 2. Service masts for overhead commercial three-phase services without overhead CTs shall be supported in accordance with Figure 504. 3. Service masts for overhead commercial three-phase services with overhead CTs shall be supported in accordance with Figures 505, 506, and 507. 508 Service head. The service head shall be an approved raintight type properly sized to accommodate the service raceway and service entrance conductors. It should be positioned within 12 to 24 inches from the anchorage point of the service drop conductors to allow the bottom of the drip loop to comply with minimum clearances specified in Articles 502 and 503 and shown in Figure 501-509 Service entrance conductors. The service entrance conductors shall be furnished and installed by customer for connection to CPS Energy service drop conductors. Conductors shall be installed to meet minimum requirements of the NEC and other applicable codes and the provisions outlined herein. 509 1 Size. Service entrance conductors shall have sufficient ampacity to carry the load as determined by the NEC and other applicable codes, and in no case, be smaller than number 8 AWG copper or number 6 AWG aluminum. Service entrance conductor sizes shall not exceed those specified by CPS Energy for meter sockets or other CPS Energy metering equipment, refer to Section 1800. 509 2 Conductor insulation. Service entrance conductors including grounded conductors entering or on the exterior of buildings or other structures shall be insulated. Conductor insulation must be a type approved by the NEC and other applicable codes for the use intended. 509 3 Connectors, terminals, and taps. The service drop conductors shall be connected by CPS Energy to the service entrance conductors by means of compression or mechanical connectors furnished by CPS Energy. CPS Energy will not permit connectors, terminals, or taps to be connected to the service entrance conductors ahead of metering equipment. Exception 1. Where customer installs a bus service head in accordance with Article 509(5), the customer shall furnish and install approved connectors for connection to CPS Energy service drop conductors. Exception 2. Where connectors are used to join the service drop conductors and service entrance conductors. Exception 3. Where connections within metering equipment are used to close the meter loop. Exception 4. Where taps are used within auxiliary gutters or junction boxes required by CPS Energy to energize metering equipment from service lateral or service entrance conductors. 509 For paralleled conductors. Aluminum, copper-clad aluminum, or copper conductors for each phase, neutral or grounded circuit shall be permitted to be connected in parallel, electrically joined at both ends to form a single conductor, only in sizes 1/0 AWG and larger where installed in accordance with 1 through 5 below. 1. Be the same length. 2. Have the same conductor material. 3. Be the same size in circular mill area. 4. Have the same insulation type. 5. Be terminated in the same manner. 509 5 Maximum number of conductors. CPS Energy will connect service drop conductors directly to service entrance conductors where paralleled service entrance conductors per phase at the service head do not exceed 3 conductors. 1. Where 3 paralleled service entrance conductors per phase are used, each cable shall not exceed 500 kcm aluminum or 500 kcm copper. 2. Where 2 paralleled service entrance conductors per phase are used, each cable shall not exceed 750 kcm aluminum or 500 kcm copper. Note: where more than 3 paralleled service entrance conductors per phase are used, a bus service head approved by CPS Energy shall be furnished and installed by customer. 509 6 Exposed conductors for connections. CPS Energy requires 24 inches minimum of free wire ends extending from the service head, except bus type, for making connections to the service drop conductors. On the line side and load side of metering equipment, customer must provide sufficient wire ends for forming wire and making necessary connections to close meter loops. Where window type CTs are installed in enclosures, CPS Energy will work with customer in pulling their conductors through the CTs, thereby avoiding connections. Ample conductor slack shall be provided for training and forming conductors, refer to section 1800 and figure 1813. 509 7 Means of identifying grounded and ungrounded conductors. Customer shall clearly and permanently identify grounded, neutral, and ungrounded phase conductors before CPS Energy installs service, refer to section 400 article 404. 509 8 Minimum number of conductors required based on type of service supplied. The minimum number of service entrance conductors shall be as specified below depending on the type of service, single phase or 3-phase, supplied by CPS Energy. 1. Single phase power and lighting require 3 conductors. 2. Ungrounded, 1 grounded. 2. 3-phase power and lighting require 4 conductors. 3. Ungrounded, 1 grounded. 509 9 Line and load conductors. Conductors other than service entrance conductors shall not be in service raceways. Customer load conductors shall not be permitted in any service raceway, junction box, or auxiliary gutter installed ahead of CPS Energy metering equipment. 510 Metering. All metering equipment shall be installed on the exterior of building or structure at a location approved by the CPS Energy customer service representative and in accordance with section 1800. Customer shall provide CPS Energy an approved space on the building wall or structure for metering equipment. Note 1. Where space is not available on building wall, customer shall provide a suitable metering equipment rack separate from building. Refer to definition of metering equipment rack and figure 1820. Note 2. For customer calculated loads requiring instrument transformer rated metering equipment, CPS Energy may install instrument transformers at building wall or on service mast where applicable. CPS Energy will furnish transformer mounting bracket, TMB, for installation by customer. Refer to figure 505, 506, and 507. Note 3. Service disconnecting means shall be located in accordance with section 400 article 405. See the following figures in the specification manual. Figure 501 Service drop clearances. 600 volts or less. Figure 502 overhead residential service, 1 meter. Figure 503 overhead residential service, 1 meter with a service mast. Figure 504 overhead service, 3-phase meter with a service mast. Figure 505 overhead service, weatherproof CTs on a service mast. Figure 506 typical wall-mounted weatherproof type current annual voltage transformer installation, cabled service drop. Figure 507 typical wall-mounted weatherproof type current transformer installation, paralleled or open conductor service drop. Figure 508 overhead conductor clearances, swimming pool. Figure 509 overhead residential service, TVL/0 or more meters from gutter. Figure 510 overhead residential service, 320 amp single phase meter supplying gutter.